Hey traders, checking in on the cryptocurrency space after an eventful weekend for the bears and Elon Musk on Twitter, shifting bearish with his tone. A lot of people pointing at him for the reason we are dropping. It's definitely magnifying things, but I'll talk about my opinion on the matter a bit more. We'll look at whether this is a buy the dip opportunity and how we are looking to trade the current market environment, which has absolutely shifted from where we were just a couple months ago. So first things first, Elon Musk's tweets, yes, they are definitely impacting the market in the short term. In my opinion, we would be seeing monthly consolidation anyway, with or without his tweets. If he were not tweeting at any point in the last 2 weeks, in my opinion, we would just be looking a couple weeks down the line, and we would be looking at whatever reason you want to attribute to monthly consolidation, whether it's the IRS going after taxes and people locking in profits and trying to move money around, or some China FUD, or perhaps, whatever reason, raising rates concern, we would have a reason for monthly consolidation. This is the way that markets work. You do not run this significantly on the monthly time frame and expect to go up forever. Consolidation is inevitable. You only have demand outweighing supply for so long, and then you reach a point where you start to do this, and then you do that. And we went like this, and you could say that Elon Musk pushed the market to do this a little bit faster. And again, the market is reacting to his tweets, absolutely, but in my mind, there is no doubt that monthly consolidation would happen regardless of what Elon Musk says on Twitter. So again, you just look at this monthly chart on Bitcoin, pull up Tesla. What was the news that led for Tesla to pull back in monthly consolidation? What was the news that led for NIO to pull back? What was the news that led for USMJ, Trueleave to pull back? Elon Musk wasn't tweeting about any of those companies. Why do their monthly charts all look the same? Because this is how markets work, and you consolidate after massive moves to the upside. So we are in monthly consolidation, and at this point, the retracement from our last little monthly high or low is about 382% pullback. If we pull back any further under 42,000, we're then going to start looking at the daily EMA 12 or the monthly EMA 12 support, and at that point, we will then begin to favor a long drawn-out equilibrium. And at that point, bulls will hope for a long drawn-out equilibrium. If we break 40,000, bulls want a long drawn-out equilibrium, because the last thing they want to see is 2018 all over again, where we had the big pullback and then no bounce followed. We never saw any clear monthly lower high. Once the music stopped, that was it. So we obviously don't want to see that happen. We're continuing to watch the broader stock market, which has been consolidating a bit over the last couple of weeks. We're not seeing notable fear there, but we're also not seeing bulls regain complete control. So it is important to continue paying attention, because if broader market fear were to strike now, Bitcoin will be in a great position for bears to respond to that. So we are looking now at a tale of two time frames. We are in a monthly uptrend looking for a monthly high or low, but we are in a weekly, daily, 4-hour, and hourly downtrend. The bears have complete control in the short term. We must change our trading style to adapt with the changing market conditions. We used to be able to buy first 5-minute oversold conditions, and people would front run it, and that was an easy trade. That is not the case anymore. Now it is bears shorting overbought conditions and just making bearish entries on lower highs. Bears have a favorable short-term market in their favor, and they have an easy downtrend to be using as a guide. So again, we must tighten up and shift our mindset. If I was playing 5 and 15-minute oversold bounces previously, now I'm playing 4-hour and daily oversold bounces now. So it is a much more favorable bearish environment, and people can be looking bearish. You can have long-term positions. You can be bullish Bitcoin to the moon, but trading it bearish in this market environment to help hedge and offset any long exposure that you have. Because we know right now that there's a lot of people hurting that bought near the top, and pain can definitely be magnified on further pullback. Market makers and big money players who know how to play this game of stocks and crypto make the most money when we go from euphoria to fear fast, and from fear to euphoria fast. The faster they can flip that sentiment, the easier it is for them to make money. The weekly time frame on Bitcoin, weekly lower high and lower low confirmed, clear weekly downtrend. So let's just talk about what will it take for bulls to regain control and put a stop to this skid to the downside. Well, first things first, we need a 4-hour trend change. Then we zoom out. We scout a daily lower high. Then we need a daily trend change. Then we zoom out. We scout a weekly lower high. Then we need a weekly trend change to set a monthly higher low. That takes weeks and weeks to develop. So we're not going to have confidence that the bulls are back in control unless there's some kind of massive news catalyst that squeezes some shorts. It's going to take a while for the bulls to regain trends in their favor. So RSI levels, daily RSI is just now getting oversold. It is not first daily oversold conditions from all-time highs. So I am less trusting, I'm less aggressive buying this oversold drop because it's not the first time around, which is going back to our backburner trades. First hourly oversold is not the same as second hourly oversold when you're coming off a big bull move. 4-hour RSI keeps cooling off on these little bounces, which keeps the door open for another leg down. So again, just always prepare for the possibility of another leg down. It can always go lower than you think. And if you constantly have that mindset, sure, you may leave some money on the table by not going really aggressive on these bounces, but it will protect you from trying to play against momentum, and bears have momentum, and getting into a position where you then become a bag holder. So the way that I am trading this market is I've been trading ETH USD as long as that ETH BTC chart is in a daily uptrend. We'll get to that in just a moment. But I am selling these short-term bounces. I've traded ETH USD twice now in the past 3 days, and I sold the first one on an hourly lower high, and I think both of them. I sold both on hourly lower highs because, again, I'm not going to try and play counter momentum and hope the trend changes. I'm going to take my day maker, my 2-day maker when I have it. And if we do end up changing the longer term trends and I sell my short term bounce position too early, my long term no touch position will go up in value and I'll benefit from it there. But the last thing I'm going to be doing is trying to play bounces and be eating losses playing counter momentum while my long term no touch position drops in value as well. So I am staying very short term mindset playing these bounces. And right now Bitcoin is attempting to pull off a double bottom, but it won't mean anything unless we break 4-hour lower high resistance of 45.9K. And again, these have been very clear 4-hour lower highs every bounce attempt on the way down. And as long as that is the case, the bears have complete control. And we're not in extreme RSI levels on any time frame, which is again another reason I am not being aggressive. We're just looking for an hourly lower high on this current bounce. Anything under that 45.9 thousand level. Dominance chart has my attention. It is shifting momentum. The 4-hour is sideways, which is allowing the EMAs to flatten out. And as I've been saying recently, all I care about is a bull cross of these EMAs for the first time since this massive drop began. And it's potentially shaping up. If we get a bull move over 4150, our recent high, we're going to be looking at these EMAs to be making a bull cross. That will be very notable to me. We'll then zoom out and just scout a daily lower high. But again, it will be the first time. If it happens, it'll be the first time that it has happened in months. That is notable. It's a shifting market environment. And cryptocurrency dropping, we are seeing altcoins dropping a little bit faster than Bitcoin, but we're going to watch to see if that changes things. Right now, we're in an interesting standpoint where Bitcoin's looking for a monthly higher low, and it's in a weekly downtrend, but there's a ton of altcoins that are just looking for a weekly higher low, and they're in a much more bullish standpoint overall. So ETH USD, daily downtrend confirmed with a lower high and lower low. Zoom out, weekly consolidation underway. Again, weekly is extremely healthy. We have tons of space for a higher low. EMA 12 supports a nice visual guide, and we are absolutely scouting a weekly higher low on this pullback. What do we need for a weekly higher low? We need a daily trend change to set up back to the bulls. We are in a 4-hour downtrend. We just saw a bear break with a lack of follow through. I was watching this falling wedge on the hourly yesterday, and that helped me make a bounce play off of it. Last bounce I played was, at that point in time, I had it drawn a little bit tighter. I was playing off of this support line, sold on that hourly lower high, and then back to all cash. And here we are continuing to bounce off this support line. So it is still relevant to me. And we have a resistance line that we could draw. Hasn't really come into play recently. Support line matters more to me. But again, just a bear break with a lack of follow through means scout a potential falling wedge. On any hourly bounce, we're just looking for a lower high compared to 35.48. I need a setup that favors a 4-hour trend change. And we're not close to seeing one. So I am keeping an eye out for potential bullish entries for a daily bounce, but I need a clear stop level nearby. The only time I'm entering into weakness with orders that are scaled down is when we're in some extreme shorter term RSI levels. And we're not there right now, so I have no bids set. I'm just watching this price action. And if ETH can bounce significantly enough back to 3.4K, then maybe I'll look for an entry on an hourly high or low and have a stop level to play off of. But again, I'm just being very conservative and very patient because the last thing I'm going to do is give money back. And I have been very cautious the last couple of months anticipating monthly consolidation. Granted, I was too early. I left some money on the table by being more cautious than I needed to be too early. But my trading account right now in crypto is at all-time highs because of that. And that was the goal. Just don't give anything back. Already hitting my goals for the year and not giving anything back. So that is my short-term trading mindset. And again, if the bulls set a weekly high or low and I don't get a nice swing position in my trading account, my long-term no-touch position will be my anti-FOMO and the net worth will go up. So we are scouting a weekly high or low. 4-hour oversold. We can see we haven't dipped that far into oversold conditions on ETH USD. And again, I am very interested in these bear breaks that are lacking significant follow-through here and watching for a potential falling wedge-like setup. Could take a couple days to try and play out. ETH BTC. I'm still playing ETH as long as the EMA 12 is support on the daily time frame. That being said, the BTC dominance chart has my attention. If I look at this chart on its own, I have no problem looking bullish on ETH over BTC. I am more cautious because the dominance chart is potentially shifting. If we see that bull cross of the 4-hour EMAs, I will probably start to play Bitcoin instead of ETH. But for right now, this daily consolidation is extremely healthy and there are no red flags. If we lose daily EMA 12 for the first time in 2 months, then it will be a red flag. So that is my short-term guide. LTC USD, daily downtrend very clear. Weekly EMA 12 has held the last 4 or 5 tests. The bulls still have complete control of the weekly time frame as long as that is the case, and we are approaching that level. So if I'm looking at LTC bullish, I'm definitely starting to get more interested at that historical bounce level, and the 4-hour needs to set up a trend change because right now the bears have complete control of the 4-hour trend. LTC BTC is on the verge of a daily downtrend. If we break 6086, it will be notable. It'll be a little head and shoulders, and that will mean zoom out, and we'll look for weekly consolidation to be underway. The coins that you want to be trading bullish on bounces are the ones whose BTC pairings are at their highs, not the ones that are starting to show the first signs of weakness in weeks. Binance rolled over. We had the 12-hour rising wedge broke bearish with no follow-through, and then we back tested and rejected, and now we're getting bear follow-through. So we zoom out, again, another name with tons of space for a weekly high or low to form. And you can have a bear mindset. You know, obviously bears are looking at bounces for lower highs. Right now, I personally would probably be waiting for a daily lower high to be looking bearish on Bitcoin and Ethereum from here, if not in a position. But look at the weekly charts. Let's say Binance holds the weekly EMA 12. Bears are patiently waiting to top fish that all-time high for a weekly lower high. So there are trades that we can have in the short term to be watching for, but write down the trades that you're going to be watching for in a week or two to not forget those setups because they can certainly come into play. Binance BTC is still holding very strong. If we lose the daily EMA 12 and roll over into weekly consolidation, it will be notable. Watch the pattern of a high or low every single week. As of right now, Binance is doing a great job of holding up compared to Bitcoin, but we are on the verge of potentially rolling over. Matic USDT, choppy on the daily chart. The weekly is remaining healthy. Inside bar at the moment, and it's because the BTC pairing is at the highs. Again, any name whose BTC pairings are at the highs stands out as far as strength during this Bitcoin consolidation. When we lose the pattern of a high or low every day, we'll see a short-term shift in momentum, but we are seeing Matic fending off weekly consolidation due to that BTC pairing remaining so strong. And I was just on the wrong time frame. It was the 4-hour chart that was a bit choppy. The daily is still strong. Inside bar currently forming today. If they break bearish, we scout a daily high or low. If it breaks bullish, we are right there at the high. Liking weekly charts for XRP and Theta because they're clear weekly equilibriums. So high, low, lower high, and we're scouting a weekly high or low. And the BTC pairing is breaking out, which is why I have interest in it. So the BTC pairing is at the highest level that we have seen compared to Bitcoin in 6 months. And that is helping shape a weekly high or low. We need a daily trend change back to the bulls. And if XRP gets over 161, a weekly high or low is being set. I don't care if you don't like XRP, its weekly chart is standing out for a nice clear pattern. And that's another point that just is driven home for me this weekend with so much drama on Twitter about Bitcoin and who's the better coin and Dogecoin. And I can't tell you how powerful it is to not care at all which coin is the best. If you're here to trade, if you're here to change the world, hopefully you're working on projects to help do so, and I hope cryptocurrency changes the world, but me choosing a favorite coin and arguing about it on social media is going to do nothing to further that from happening. Or I should say further that to happening. It's a waste of time. It's emotional attachment, and we know emotions, as far as trading is concerned, are not a trader's friend. If you can ditch caring about any of these coins and just treat them as numbers on a screen, you will likely trade better. XRP, BTC, very strong. So again, watching 4264 as a key resistance level. And if that were to break bullish while we're in a weekly equilibrium, that would definitely favor the potential that this weekly equilibrium could break bullish as well. Theta has been losing interest for weeks at this point as other coins have been running, but it's a weekly equilibrium trying to form a weekly high or low, and the BTC pairing has my attention. After chopping around sideways, we're finally trying to bull break. We need follow through to get over these recent highs. But again, coins that have BTC pairings that are strong and are forming weekly equilibriums are absolutely worth watching for weekly higher lows to develop, because we know these coins positioned as they are right now, if Bitcoin starts a daily bounce, even if we're just looking for a daily lower high to be the result of that bounce, these coins are positioned to give us their weekly higher lows already. So keep an eye on them. And again, what I do every morning is I just shuffle through 10 to 20 altcoins and I just look at their BTC pairings, all of them, and say, okay, who is weakening and losing the spotlight and who is gaining strength and at their highs, and showing us that money is going into those coins, or at least leaving those coins slower than it's leaving Bitcoin, and keeping those coins positioned well for when Bitcoin does see a daily bounce. Keep in mind, when Bitcoin bounces, we are just scouting a daily lower high. And that is why I would say at this point, if looking for bearish entries, I personally would be waiting for a daily lower high to be looking for that bearish entry to be made. Just like backburners on the way down. 5-minute oversold conditions were great on the way down. Let's look at our 5-minute overbought conditions. If you shorted Bitcoin when the 5-minute RSI gets up towards 70 RSI, at any point since 49.8 thousand, that is the time to short. It's just a completely flipped market in the short term as far as signals. So again, you have to adjust with that, because if you trade the same way that you were trading a month ago, right now, you will lose money. You have to recognize the shifting market environment and adjust your trading style with it. And on the alert system, we're working on backburner trades and reverse backburner trades and programming those in. So they will be added to the system at some point once we work out all the kinks and get the nice back tests and performance down. But right now, we'll be watching for bearish entries next time hourly RSI gets up towards 70. Maybe the daily bounce aligns and we scout a daily lower high with hourly RSI approaching 70. And that's what bears will be watching for. Look at the hourly RSI butting its head against 70. Good short, good short, good short. So again, it's the complete opposite. I am scouting bullish. I would be trading bearish if I were not on Coinbase. And yes, I could use a VPN and do all that fun stuff, but honestly, at this point, it's not worth it to me, because I wouldn't put on a significant enough amount of capital willing to risk it on an exchange using VPNs without FDIC insurance where it would be worth my while. So I will continue playing bounces, and that's one of my edges as a trader. And at this point, I will be watching for an hourly setup where I like the odds of an hourly higher low to form. And going back to this bounce, I would have expected a higher low compared to the low, but the increasing bear volume made the less likely scenario play out. ETH was the same thing. I would expect a higher low compared to 31.25. We didn't get it due to the increasing bear volume. We now have a bit of a volume climax trying to form for a short-term bounce. That is notable bull volume at that low. But again, the zoom out game will need a 15-minute trend change. Then we zoom out. We scout an hourly lower high. If we get an hourly trend change, we zoom out. We scout a 4-hour lower high. We'll then scout a daily lower high. You get the idea. Establish those game plans. Short-term mindset is very different from mid-term mindset, is very different from long-term mindset. And you want to be on the same page with yourself so you're not trading one way. If I'm looking for swing trade entries and I'm trading off the 5-minute time frame, acting on 5-minute signals, those don't really align. All right. Feel free to ask any questions. Do good things. Have a good rest of your day. Sweeties in the building.
Boys, what are we doing right now? We're trekking. We won't see any of that for 7 days. It's a week. Pretty pumped. Won't see many of these people either. I don't. We'll see plenty of that. Plenty of that running water. Plenty of those guys. Check them out. Damn. Dodger stuff hanging from the bears.
Nice easy access.
Mountain up, we're on mountain up. Dan, those are the craziest shorts. I just need to get like the shimmeriness. Look at that. Dan is hiking in those guys today. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive.
Alright, I say we don't go up that trail. I say we just go this way and then meet the trail.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, got our iodine water. Look at that color. Look at the, just let's get the color of this water. Oh. Great, great, great. Quality water. Yeah.
I feel like my day 2 pack is
much better than day 1 pack?
Much better than day 1.
I mean, you live in
I abandoned the double shotgun.
Yeah.
And
yeah, let's check it out now. You went with the stack.
Oh,
the stack. As with mine. Don't know if you can see it, but we went with the strategic stack. Standard camping procedure.
I got this on my
fanny pack.
Yeah, a little fanny pack, a lot better. Not hanging off the back.
Easy access. Easy access.
Weight,
You've got a nice little knife there.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling very good about your pack.
Look at those antlers.